We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. Wise words from Franklin D. Roosevelt. It's just a few more days before November ends, but our nation is still celebrating and lifting our youth. And Jamaica Magazine is still set on impacting youth, well, through youth. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry. Welcome to another day of unfolding stories of impact and achievements through Jamaica Magazine. Today's plan is pretty simple, but definitely worth the watch. You'll want to stay with us for all this that is about to unfold.
Did you know that in a recent survey done by the OCA in schools across Jamaica, 43% of the students received inappropriate messages from strangers? The OCA wants you to be smart online. Never speak to persons you don't know. Parents, encourage your children to be social but be smart.
This message was brought to you by the Office of the Children's Advocate with support from UNICEF.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, November 27. A new national identification bill is likely to be tabled in Parliament by the end of March 2020. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made that announcement in the House of Representatives yesterday. He said a review of the bill should be completed within 2 weeks. In April, the Supreme Court struck down the National Identification and Registration (NIDS) Act, stating that certain aspects of the legislation breach the rights of Jamaicans' privacy, as is guaranteed by the Constitution. According to Mr. Holness, the administration's goal is to issue new drafting instructions with strengthened oversight and security provisions by January 2020. In that vein, he revealed that on November 11, Cabinet approved the First Amendment to the NIDS Solution Contract to execute activities not directly related to the ID system. These provisions were outlined in the contract awarded to the Productive Business Solutions, PBS Limited. The First Amendment will allow the project team to focus on the ICT upgrade activities until a new National Identification and Registration Bill is tabled.
The government decided to focus on the initial ICT upgrade to address urgent needs at PICA and RGD. The remainder of the contract is to cover new systems and infrastructure upgrade and the implementation of the National Identification System. However, these activities will not be executed until a new National Identification and Registration Bill is tabled.
The NIDS project is broken up into two major activities. The first is ICT infrastructure upgrade, which accounts for 80% of the IDB loan agreement. There is also the national identification component, which accounts for 20% of the NIDS project loan. Agriculture Minister Audley Shaw has welcomed a new hemp farm in Lennox Big Woods, Westmoreland, which he says will help to establish Jamaica as a world leader in the medicinal hemp and cannabis industry. Ground was recently broken for the 113-acre hemp farm, which is being spearheaded by wellness firm Virtudes Company Limited. The company, which has invested $1 million in the venture, received licenses to cultivate and manufacture hemp-based products such as hemp flour and CBD oils. Minister Shaw says industrial hemp will not be considered in this process due to the risk it poses to our indigenous ganja.
Feminized hemp, medicinal hemp, is what we have approved. And we will equally have frequent monitoring by our enforcement and monitoring officers of the Cannabis Licensing Authority to ensure compliance with the policy and the absence of male or hermaphrodite hemp plants.
He adds that protocols are being established to allow for a 4 to 10 mile buffer between a medicinal hemp site and a formal ganja cultivation site. In the meantime, 35 farmers from the community are employed on the farm in Lennox Big Woods, which is expected to yield its first harvest by March 2020. American Airlines will be sending 15 flights into Montego Bay, St. James every Saturday starting in December. This new air services arrangement represents a record for any single carrier operating in the country. The recent announcement was made during a welcome reception for the resumption of American Airlines' daily service from New York's John F. Kennedy Airport to the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says this new arrangement signifies the strength of the relationship between Jamaica and one of America's most prestigious airline carriers.
This reintroduction of service, therefore, will augur very well for us as a destination. I know also that that connectivity will enable us to link with other destinations out of Europe, out of Asia, and also out of South America. And we're excited about that.
American Airlines has an estimated 200 million customers. It operates approximately 6,800 daily flights to more than 365 destinations in 61 countries. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is advising the public to take precaution during the current influenza or flu season. The flu season generally runs from October to late May, with cases peaking between December and March. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Bisesa McKenzie is appealing for persons to take flu-like symptoms seriously and to visit their doctor or health center if symptoms arise. She points out that the flu can lead to pneumonia and blood infections and can cause severe symptoms such as diarrhea and seizures in children.
The flu can worsen chronic medical conditions such as heart or lung disease. Persons at highest risk of dangerous complications from the flu are infants and young children, adults 60 years and older, pregnant women, and persons with chronic medical conditions or weakened immune systems.
Influenza, commonly referred to as the flu, is an acute viral infection that spreads easily from person to person, mainly by coughing, sneezing, and through close contact. Symptoms may vary by age and include fever, chills, sore throat, muscle aches, fatigue, cough, headache, and runny or stuffy nose.
We want to remind members of the public to practice good hygiene, including washing hands with soap and water and covering the mouth and nose while coughing or sneezing, which will help to prevent the transmission of the virus.
The flu vaccine is available free of cost in the public health system to high-risk members of the population. This includes healthcare workers, children and the elderly, persons with chronic illnesses, pregnant women, individuals who are institutionalized or in state care, and non-health frontline workers. And finally, Minister without portfolio in the office of the Prime Minister, Mike Henry, says he will not back down from his push for reparation for the descendants of enslaved Africans. He highlights that slavery caused not only physical and emotional harm, but the act also had far-reaching effects on Jamaicans. Mr. Henry argues that Jamaicans need acceptance of the moral wrongness of the slavery system.
We acknowledge the harm that was caused, recognition that continuing impact in our lives today, confession of the immense benefits gained by European countries, and of course full and final monetary compensation to Jamaica.
Minister Henry made the declaration during the 9th staging of the JIS's annual Heritage Competition Awards ceremony on Monday. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Did you know that you can apply for a copy of your birth certificate online or by visiting any of the Registrar General's Department offices listed on their website? For ease of processing, there are several things you need to know about the person or child whose birth certificate you are applying for. Here's a checklist. Ensure you know the correct name and spelling of the person, as well as their mother and father. You will need their date and place of birth, which is usually the name of the hospital or location they were born. Parish of birth is also important. Find out also the birth entry number along with the date and place of registration for the adult or child. Remember, for additional information on how you can apply for a copy of your birth certificate or someone else's, contact the Registrar General's Department today.
You know, it is often said that powerful potentials are realized in our youth. Now, with government's thrust of having more Jamaicans pursue academic studies and careers in STEM areas, such as engineering, this burst of powerful potential is being exhumed through our nation's future civil engineers. Here's a further look.
We are on the cusp of a new era in science, energy, and technology, and engineers are important stakeholders in this journey.
Government is encouraging more Jamaicans to pursue academic studies and careers in STEM areas such as engineering. Engineering has been around for ages, but the profession could not have been more relevant to society.
Engineers don't just work with machines, designs, and electronics. They use maths and science to provide innovation and inventions that shape our society and improve the way we live and work.
The field of engineering can be broken down into 6 main categories, the oldest and most popular of which is civil engineering. Civil engineers design and construct large structures such as roads, buildings, airports, and bridges. Just take a look around. It is undeniable that civil engineers play an integral role in society, and as such, more universities are offering programs that will equip students with the skills and knowledge they need to meet the increasingly sophisticated engineering demands of clients. One such program is the recently accredited bachelor's degree in civil engineering at the University of Technology. The 4-year program not only imparts basic engineering knowledge, but it also allows students to specialize in their desired civil engineering fields.
At the end of the program, their final year, they can specialize. So they can specialize in structural engineering, transportation engineering, environmental engineering, construction engineering.
The students are also given a final year investigative group project, whereby they present their findings and solutions to heads of the department and members of the wider construction sector.
We had persons from the group or groups that came out ahead of others. So we had first place and the second place. We also had a third place. We just recognized persons for doing well.
Let's learn about some of the outstanding final year projects that were produced by some of this year's top students.
Hi, my name is Chanel Roy, and my group members and I were given the task to design a hospital and epidemiology center to be placed in Western Jamaica. So the approach that we took was to design a radial ward that comprised of 4 wards, of course, to ensure that we have maximum capacity. So on Ward A, we have maternity. On Ward B, we have neonatal. On Ward C, we have physical therapy. These are just some of the services on each of the wards. Of course, it's a 5-floor hospital, and we have an underground basement as well for medical equipment and medical vehicles. As it relates to structural engineering work, we design a composite slab using steel mainframe reinforcements. We designed for earthquake loading. We did our sustainable drainage design. We utilized our mixed design knowledge as it relates to designing porous concrete of various layers, subgrades and layers, etc., to ensure that we have an efficient and sustainable system.
Hello, my name is Justina Gale. My group members and I designed a football stadium and complex to host a football tournament. For the stadium, we designed 3 tiers, which is basically 3 levels for the spectators, which are 60,000 spectators, which we designed for them to see. The sports facility that was designed for including facilities such as a netball court, a basketball court, swimming area. We looked at some issues at the current National Stadium and also the Trelawney Multipurpose Stadium, and we said, why not design something with more seating capacity to be able to accommodate more people and to have some special features so we can have international people to come and support.
Did you know that in 2010, the United Nations declared the access to safe, adequate, and clean drinking water a human right? My name is Sharifa Cohen, and my team and I designed a water treatment facility and pipe network to supply Negril and its environs using the Cabarito River as source. So our treatment plant is a traditional filtration plant, but one, I always tell people, it cannot be contemporary if it's not sustainable. So our treatment plant aims to be closed-looped in that it uses indigenous material such as bamboo and coconut husks, and it also recycles the waste from the plant so as not to pollute the environment further. It has a concrete gravity dam that has a reservoir behind it that will store the 15 million gallons a day that we deduce that the town would require. So with refinement, we hope that we can propose this to the government.
I am Giovanni Walker, and my group and I designed a model for the relocation of the residents of the Almontown community. As you might know, the government has a overzone project, which is a plan to have the ministries in a centralized location. So with that being said, this plan will effectively remove 40 acres of the 50-acre site surrounding the National Heroes Park. And for that reason, the many commercial or residential buildings surrounding the park will have to be demolished, and Almontown falls into residential category. So my group mates and I decided that we will propose a solution for this very relevant issue. So we have decided to use 7 apartment buildings to relocate approximately 1,260 residents based on the statistics of a survey that was conducted. Our proposed relocation site is an approximately 86,000 square meter area plan at Upper Camp. We decided to use that site because it falls within a 5-mile radius so as not to greatly exaggerate the livelihood of the residents of the Almontown region.
So there you have it. It's evident that these students are on the right path to becoming outstanding civil engineers in the near future. If you're a high school student who is considering a career in civil engineering, then the Bachelor of Engineering in Civil Engineering at the University of Technology is definitely a viable option. Here is what you need.
5 CSEC subjects and 6 units from CAPE. 2 units in mathematics, pure mathematics usually, 2 units in physics, and 2 units in something that is related, modules or subjects are related to the sciences.
What if they knew that you abused her, her family?
Mr. Jones.
And your colleagues, how will they look at an abuser? When the law comes knocking, you'll have nowhere to run.
Mr. Brown, you're under arrest. Please get up, hands behind your head and interlock your fingers.
Turn your back on abusers. Report gender-based violence to the police. There's no excuse for abuse. Call the Bureau of Gender Affairs at 876-754-8577.
Benjamin Disraeli was a novelist who served twice as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom in the 1800s. But more than that, I remember him for this famous line: "The youth of a nation are the trustees of posterity." Here are some young Jamaicans who are well on the way to prosperity with their entrepreneurial development ideas.
Our business, we are currently making special glasses that are directly aimed at visually impaired or blind people.
I am the treasurer of Humble Ground Planting Supplies, and these are my seeding trays.
This is our first bag, the one we made for feedback at school, and the children loved it.
Well, I am the CEO for Senior Eagles Company. Here with me today is my manager, Rakina Genius.
our finance manager, Simone Wright, our human and resource manager, Janelle Anderson, our manufacturing and logistics director, Selvin Nicholson.
These grade 9 students at Jamaica College and Nain High School mean business. They're learning entrepreneurship by running real companies with real problems, real products, and real potential. They are part of the J-Seed program organized by Junior Achievement Jamaica and funded by USAID. At Nain High School in St. Elizabeth, students were using shoe boxes to protect their books and to give their school bags a more desirable shape. But there was a problem.
They are not long-lasting. As soon as you put them in your bag, by the end of the day, it's either crushed. If the rain falls, it wets.
The Senior Eagles company spotted a business opportunity and developed the drop-it-in internal bag casing made from recycled 5-gallon plastic bottles. They do a better job at protecting valuables and shaping school bags than shoe boxes.
Here we have our manager dividing the jug into 2 halves when they're cutting the jug. This is our prototype, our work day while we were building the bag.
At Jamaica College, Vision is using modern technology to design glasses that warn the blind or visually impaired of obstacles in their path.
When infrared sensors, they're going to bounce off an object, and when the light bounces off an object, it will then come back to the process, which will process it, and then go to the vibrating motor, which will then indicate to the wearer that there's an object in front of you.
Under J-Seed, 41 schools across Jamaica have added entrepreneurship to their grade 9 curriculum. Using the Junior Achievement Workbook as a guide, the students cover introduction to entrepreneurship, developing business ventures, conducting operations, and dissolving or expanding a business.
This really put me in the whole matter of the student-centered approach, wherein that it's not a chalk and talk. It's really getting into the brains of these students. The boys love it. They like to actually communicate with each other. They like to express themselves. And of course, it helps them to be more involved in the learning process.
At Nain High, the program is also student-centered and hands-on.
They sit and decide on what they want to do. They then go out and seek their own materials. They get back into their teams and they work on their product by themselves. I go around and I supervise and share ideas with them, ask questions and get feedback from them as well.
And based on the feedback, both the businesses and the students are growing.
Some of them have become more confident. They're certainly more creative, and they're now gelling more with each other because they've had to work together to create their products.
We noticed that students in our school, they were putting their uniforms in their bags when they changed for PE. So after PE, their uniforms would get crushed.
To solve the problem, our Crafters Group, an award-winning recycling company, decided to produce waterproof gym bags from recycled plastic bags.
After we found the plastic, we washed them. The plastic is then dried, placed over an ironing board. We put fabric over the plastic and we iron the plastic. We let it cool, and after it's dried, we cut it. Then we line the plastic that's on the inside. Then we wrap cardboard with some of the plastic and then we line it. Then we turn over the bag and so it's made from inside.
The students are also learning the importance of corporate social responsibility. Businesses at Nain High School used Labor Day to give back to the community.
It's a wonderful program because it's helping children all over Jamaica to showcase what they're capable of in terms of creativity, innovation.
I feel like this program, it's very great because it also exposes us and teaches us that there's many different good ideas out there and shows us that we should be confident in our idea and try to bring it out as best as possible.
And there's even more exposure for these young entrepreneurs through competitions. For example, students can create commercials for their businesses and enter them into the Marketing Maven competition. There's also the FedEx Access Award, which rewards businesses for being environmentally friendly and globally focused. The JC program, cultivating the spirit of entrepreneurship in grade 9 students and imparting profitable skills for work and life.
Today's show has come to an end, but we should never end sharing and celebrating the achievements of our nation's future. If there was something that you missed from today's show, you can watch it again on our website or our YouTube channel. And keep up with the JIS team on our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. You take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.